learning a lot about selling different products on the Amazon Marketplace, and really building a team out around it, and letting all of that flourish.
Okay, so for those of us who are not familiar with dropshipping, can you explain to us what that is?
Of course. So dropshipping, I'll just walk you through the customer experience. I think that's the easiest way for people to understand it. So let's say that I'm a shopper on Amazon. I'm going to go search for a water bottle. And I'm going to find that water bottle, I'm going to add it to my cart, and I'm going to check out. On the other side, Amazon or myself as a reseller is going to receive that order. I'm going to take the shipping information that you entered and send that to the person who made that water bottle, because I have a relationship with them. And then they take the water bottle from their warehouse and ship it directly to you as the customer. So me as the seller in the middle, I don't ever touch that product. I just receive the order through Amazon and then also follow up to make sure you had a good customer experience.
Wow. Okay, so basically what this is almost like taking away the middleman in some sense.
Yeah, definitely. It's a unique business model for retail. It's pretty common for online retail for people who don't want to hold all the inventory but wants to be able to offer a decent amount of product. So yeah, it does remove a piece of that wholesale chain for sure.
Okay, so now I gotta ask, did you had any doubts that this business was going to succeed? And if so, how did you overcome those doubts?
Yeah, that's a great question. I think any business owner is going to run into doubts throughout their experience of building a business, right? So I would say doubts definitely came when we were first starting and we were in college. We were pretty young. We were still going to classes. We were trying to figure everything out on the fly. And there were definitely some points where we were questioning whether this could be something that we could do full time or that we could turn into a real business, just because we didn't know a lot about it yet. And then also years down the line, so about 2013, 2014, there was a point where there were some doubts as well, because on Amazon, what was becoming common was a lot of brands were looking to protect themselves. And so they were trying to get rid of people who didn't have authorization to sell their products. So that was a little bit of a doubtful time. We had authorization, but it was a time where a lot of brands were just cracking down and even taking out sellers that they had authorization with. So that was a time where we were a little doubtful and really trying to figure things out.
Wow. So how did you overcome that then? And how did overcome the brands who were trying to, quote unquote, shut down your business, per se?
Sure. So the way that we did it is we kind of took a pretty honest look at our business and said, hey, which manufacturers, which suppliers do we definitely want to work with, and which are the ones that are bringing us the most sales? So in most businesses, especially with retail, there's the 80-20 rule where 20% of your sales are going to come from, or 80% of your sales are going to come from 20% of your inventory. And so we kind of took an honest look at the business. We got rid of some suppliers that we didn't love working with, and we kept working with suppliers that were giving us good sales.
Okay. So of course now this ties into what's going on, especially now, with anyone now can run their own business per se, and it seems like now, like Amazon, and then now social media is giving us the power to be our own bosses, and we can choose who we want to work with. So the question is, for those of us that starting out, and I'm going to try and tie it into your book here. Should we go after investors when we first sign out, or should we just try to build it ourselves first?
Yeah, that's a great question. I think it's something that's been discussed, probably over discussed in the past 10 years or so. But so my advice, and this is just how we've run our businesses, both Portlight and then Free Up, is I encourage people who are starting out to bootstrap as long as they can. And bootstrapping is the process of using your own money. It's usually a small amount, couple $100s, couple $1,000 to get things off the ground, and then focus on cash flow positive business models. So the easiest way to do that or think about it is if you have a specialty. You were talking a little bit about social media. If you're an expert at social media, the best way that you can start to make some money for your business is by offering consulting services. So maybe you go out and you start working with business owners who need help with their social media. In that sense, you're making money as you're doing the work. So you can slowly take in that money and you can pay yourself a little bit. You can put a little bit into a bank account where you can save and use that for future growth. And that's an easy and slow way to grow your business and to make progress instead of trying to focus on getting a large investment or trying to figure out that whole ordeal.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you 100%. Because now it's like, like many of us know, like, there's Shark Tank, that it's a phenomenon, and we see entrepreneurs going there and pitching, but most of the questions that they will ask in the middle of that is, what are their sales, and they're looking towards like the long term, personally, like years history to see if it's sustainable, and that's really important there too. So
yeah,
so of course now, go ahead. Sorry.
I think that's such a great point because I don't think that people shouldn't raise investments. I think there's just the right time for it. And when you're getting starting out and you're figuring out things and setting the foundation, I think that's when it's most important to just stay focused on hustling and building up your business and your track record. Maybe once you get to a certain point where you need an investment, then it's the right time.
Okay, so now I'm gonna ask about your travels because for those that saw the pre-show beforehand, you actually spent 3 months in South Africa twice, and in some ways that kind of helped you in your business. So can you share with us about that?
Yeah, of course. So it was a great experience. The 2 times that I went, I was going with the same company. So the name of the company was Think Impact, and their whole business philosophy was centered around taking entrepreneurial ideas specific to social entrepreneurship and going to impoverished areas in South Africa and other areas of Africa and working with people there on the ground to build businesses. So the first year that I went in 2010, I was just an intern. So I was just an intern, a part of this program. I went and lived with a host family there for 12 weeks. I learned about their culture, learned about their language, learned about how they live their life, and then also worked with a team of people to start to grow a small business. And then the second time I went back, because I had such a great experience, I applied and was accepted to run the program. So the second time was a drastically different experience. I was managing around 35 people, making sure that all the logistics and all the financials and everything was in control. And so I think that was a really eye-opening experience to show me what I need to do to be a leader and to instill confidence in the people that I was working with.